crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I wanted to make a card for the Coffee Lovers blog hop, and I'm going to be using this image. It's a digital stamp from LaPetite Market, I believe is how you say it. Oh, I'm not good at French. Anyway, super cute stuff. Like, I bought a whole bunch of her digital stamp sets. I just think they're really adorable, and I'll leave you a link in the video description. But here's some other images. Like, I thought, I printed out some other stuff I thought would be cute for the coffee hop. We'll see if we get to it. But there's just a couple different sets, and I think they're worth checking out if you like this sort of whimsical, cute character style. So I had colored this image with some Copic markers. It was pretty fussy. It's very small, very small details in the image, so I wasn't comfortable videoing it. I just felt like it would take so long and my head would be in the way the whole time, etc., etc. So I did want to just show some quick ideas for assembling a fun card with these and talking about some different ways of adding white space. So I like using pattern paper, and I have this pattern paper from the Doodlebug Cream and Sugar collection. I know it was super popular among other coffee lovers like myself, and I don't have very much of it left. I actually have some of the most coffee-ish images, and I decided that I could spare a teeny tiny bit of it for this card. I kind of tend to hoard it because it's so cute, and I have some other pieces of it. And there's a part of me that just wants to buy another 6x6 paper pad if I could get my hands on it. So I wanted to use the pattern paper, but I also wanted to stamp a sentiment. And I thought about some different ways of adding the sentiment, but ultimately decided that it would be fun to add some steam back to the coffee cup, because there actually was steam on the original image, but when I put it through my ScanNCut to cut out, ScanNCut really wasn't wanting to recognize the steam. So I thought of this Lawn Fawn stamp set called Love You Latte that has the different sentiments coming out in steam, and a lot of them were kind of tricky. Now the nice thing about clear stamps is you can of course see through them, so you can kind of see which one's going to work. So here's the little sipping area of the cup. So if I want my steam to be coming out of that area, I was able to sort of line up a few of them, and a lot of them my unicorn's nose is going to get in the way. So I decided that I'd go with the For You sentiment, and it's it's still a winter card because the unicorn is dressed very wintry, but this could mean that it wouldn't have to be a holiday card, whereas if I used the Happy Holidays it would restrict it more. So I decided to add back in a space for stamping my sentiment by cutting a cross-stitched rectangle using a Kat Scrappiness die. And I also wanted to add a bit of the pink, because when I placed this here, I just really wasn't, I just didn't feel like it had enough punch to it, and so I decided I would pull in this scrap from the paper pad too here, and that would pull in some of the pink and just add a little bit more interest to the card. So get my ATG gun, my strong adhesive, my personal favorite. Also can get it for a good price often, especially if you're willing to either buy it in bulk or buy it with coupons. And I like to just put my paper strip down and then turn it around and trim it, rather than trying to cut these both to the same length, because every once in a while I mess up on that, and I prefer not to have wasted my pieces of paper if they don't match up or have to fuss with it later and trim them up anyway. So here I'm adding the white space back to the card. I want to do the stamping before I go ahead and do anything else in terms of adhering things down. So I'm going to go with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, because I know that it's going to give me a really good impression the first time, because I'm not using a stamp positioner tool for this particular card. And I know I want this oval to hang off a bit. One of the reasons I want that is because it gives a sense of movement when elements hang off of a card. So this element of the unicorn hanging off is also adding interest to the card. ink up my stamp. Luckily, this one has been used before, so I'm also more sure that it's going to give me a great impression. And I want to stamp this for you in a way on there that's going to give me some room to still trim it off, but not be covered by the unicorn's snout. So pretty good impression there that first time, as is often the case. I think that popping up this unicorn might be kind of fun. So let's snag some foam tape. I'm gonna have to add quite a bit though, because it is a large image. What's nice about, so this is a digital stamp as I mentioned before, and I like digital stamps personally because you can resize them and make them fit exactly what you want, and you're not restricted to the one size it comes with. You can flip them. You know, they just have a little bit of versatility to them. There, obviously you have to have them printed ahead of time, and you have to be able to work with your printer ink and your printer settings. I'm able to print on 110-pound cardstock from Recollections through my printer just by choosing cardstock. And I have an inkjet printer, which is more common rather than, sorry, a laser jet. I think it's the same thing, but I don't have a toner printer. And they say that toner ink is what you're supposed to use with Copics and that other printer ink will bleed. But in actuality, I am able to color with Copics even though I don't have the right type of printer. What I have found though that was key is if I try to print it in black and white only, like if I say use black ink only, it smears just like you would expect. But if I say, you know, just use the regular ink, you know, let it use the color ink, I find that it doesn't actually run or bleed and smear into my images. So that might be something worth trying if you've been always told you have the wrong printer settings. Or if you like digital stamps and you can't find a way to make it work with your Copics, they will work well with colored pencils, because colored pencils are a lot less fussy about what ink you have to use with them. So that would be my next recommendation, and that's what I did for a long time until I figured out how to make my Copics work with it, because I do prefer Copics personally. So I hope that that tip is helpful to some of you. So I should probably add adhesive to this as well. I think of a way to make it such that it won't I don't want my unicorn to fully adhere to my pink or brown paper yet. I just want to position it in relation to the For You stamp there. So I just was pretty gentle as I put it down, and then I'll add a little bit more pressure the second time. Now I'm ready to completely adhere my oval. And I want it such that the For You sentiment is straight and the unicorn instead is a little bit sideways. Again, just adding that bit of fun and whimsy by making things, you know, coming off the side, by tilting them, things like that. So then you have a choice of trimming this up to match the edge of the card or trimming it up to match the edge of the pattern paper. I personally prefer the edge of the pattern paper. So again, I just turn it around and I'm able to cut it to match exactly. And I don't have to worry about trying to line anything up. And that would be pretty much it for my card. But since I'm thinking I'm going to send this off to someone I know rather than donating this card, I can add some sequins. So I'm going to go with these Kat Scrappiness Snowflake Kisses sequins to again bring out some of the pink. This might go to one of the people in my life who are like obsessed with pink. The Kat Scrappiness set here has some pretty snowflakes, like clear, well, they're not perfectly clear, they have a slight pinkish tone to them of snowflakes. And they also have the white snowflakes. I kind of like the idea of the snowflakes falling around the unicorn here. And I'm wondering if I should, you know, how many should I go? That's always kind of my trouble with adding sequins, is like you want it to look random and full, but not too full. Less is more. I don't, you know, it's just, it can be tricky. So I think maybe 2 little groups of 3 might look nice. Although that does make 6 overall, and you say you should always use things in groups of odds. So I think it's kind of up to your discretion how many sequins that you personally kind of prefer to go with. But I think that I will use some multimedia matte to glue down a few sequins around it, or maybe I should mix it up and add some snowflakes and some regular sequins. But I'm not going to waste your time by fussing with it here on camera. You'll see a completed card picture at the end, but I'll link you to the blog hop, to the digital stamp company that made this cute little image, so you can check her out. She has a lot of coffee themed stuff, super, super cute. So if you like coffee images and fun, whimsical animals, this is the place for you. And to some of the other products I used, all down in the video description below. Be sure to check out the Coffee Lovers blog hop if you haven't already, because there are some amazing prizes on offer there. And thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel for more. Bye!